Hey all, welcome back to part 5 of the F-150. That's not a F-150, that's my Ram. I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek. We're gonna go into the final part of getting the gas tank and such in the F-150, and I'll go over a few more things with that. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about this. Okay, I've got this tank back in. I'm fixing on getting this strap put in. I saw another video, somebody said you gotta take that drive shaft out to get this rear strap out, and you don't. It can be done. I think my frame repair, I got a little tight on where the strap goes in down here, but it's close enough and the bolt's long enough. I couldn't find another bolt. This is it's a metric M10 1.5 thread by, I don't know how many millimeters long it is. I could find bolts long enough, but the problem is they're not threaded all the way. I found shoulder bolts like this, but they literally did not have the one in this size, and they certainly didn't have the longer one. So I'm just gonna put some anti-seize on there. Hopefully that lubes it up and run it up there, and hopefully it just works. So I had to get a little creative and by myself. I used a ratchet strap around the back of this tank to suck it up, and then I got the floor jack under the other end of the tank. So as soon as I get this strap in, I got to go back here and move the jack because I jacked it up right where that other strap goes. So yeah, everything went back together good. There's all these emissions hoses and crap that run up top of the tank, and I had them, I forgot, I moved them out of the way when I was welding, so I didn't want to ruin anything like that. So I had to drop the tank back down, move some hoses around, but everything's pretty much like bent to go exactly where it's supposed to go. Not too terrible of a job. 2 guys to be pretty much a piece of cake. So I'm gonna get this strap back on. I'm gonna get the front strap on, and then I think I'm gonna put the breather back on here and lay that in there. I still have one bolt broken off that I never pulled out, but I need to go back through and get him out, put all my retainers in, and hopefully tomorrow I can get some help out here and we can get the bed back on. Alright, I'm putting these captured nuts in, and looks like some of them aren't quite bent good enough. So I'm going to grab a pair of pliers and bend them down a bit. Kind of see up there, there's a little ridge, and when you get it in there, the ridge should fall down in that hole, and it should be able to clamp, but that one is not. These other ones did. This held in there pretty good. This one's got a lot more meat. Should be enough to hold it in place when we lower the bed on. I'm gonna just load these things up with Everseas, coat the bolts with them, everything. Hopefully I never have to take the bed back off, but if I do, I don't want to be fighting the bolts like I did before. Alright guys, welcome back. I'm getting ready to wrap this up. Went ahead and put my boat battery in here because Napa will not warranty their Napa Legend battery that's bad, because I don't have the receipt. You know, it came in the truck, which is kind of horse crap. It's only a year old, so kind of beware. So all I really need to do at this point is I gotta get those bolts off so I can get the running board put on. And then before that, I'm gonna put the guard back on that goes underneath the tank. Then I'll get it off the jack stands. I'm gonna get it outside, and I'm gonna pressure wash what I can. It's pretty filthy. It'll probably be the last time that this ever gets hit from this angle. And the truck is just covered in dust from grinding rust off and whatnot, so I'll probably just rinse it off. I need to see if the knuckle on top of the power steering rack is bad or what's going on with that, because like I said before, I got a pretty fair amount of play in there. It's not exactly super safe. So alrighty, I'm gonna get to it. Pretty basic stuff. Got the bed bolts sitting out here ready to go. Well, I did throw some stuff in evaporust just overnight. Didn't really do anything. It needs a little more time, but these aren't really critical. The threads look actually pretty good, so I'll just throw them back on. They hold that shield up. Alrighty, this here is a motor I bought. This thing cost me $100. It's got 200,000 miles on it, and I guess I'm just going to take a gamble on it. I don't think I'm going to be able to swap it out here. We're getting to the point where this place is going to get on the market pretty soon. I won't have access. Kind of the story behind this thing that I got was, this was in a Expedition limousine, like 30 foot long, and the guy that I bought it from was a mechanic that swapped the motor out for him, and this manifold's cracked. I'm not sure how well the camera picks it up, but he said to me that you pretty much got to pull the engine to do this, and they decided to just put another engine in. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but given the condition of these bolts on the exhaust, possibly, very possibly. Yeah, they're pretty rough. This is supposed to be out of a 2010. The tag up here says 07. That actually may not be the right tag for this. They got these bolts loose. I think they might have swapped this from the junkyard engine. I'll check casting numbers and whatnot. There should be some head numbers, I assume. Yeah, those manifolds don't look great. It's pretty rusty. I assume the one in the pickup's just as bad, but we'll kind of play it by ear. I got the intake and all that junk too, but that doesn't work. It's different, I believe. I can't really tell without looking at both of them. Just cut wire. Yeah, this must be off the junkyard motor. I think they took the tins off of the motor that was in it and put it back on. So anyway, I'm gonna pop this out of the truck, get it down on the floor. Engine stand still occupied by the 350 Chevy out of my boat. I need to get that off the engine stand too. And I'll kind of try to look over this thing a little bit. I would like to see if I can pop these manifolds off. Kind of save the shop a little bit of work. Save me a little bit of money. They're pretty crusty, so I gotta probably start soaking them and who knows? I don't know that that'll really do a lot of good. Don't even look like there's threads on half of them. I may have to get a little creative to get these bolts out. So I'm going to check it over and, you know, check compression, pop these valve covers off, look at the cams, see how dirty it is inside. You know, supposedly the 2010 motors had the upgraded heads, and the heads are the main issue on these things in the previous years, where the oil passages are not big enough. But they still get phaser problems and all that stuff. So, all right, I'm gonna spray all these bolts down with some PB or whatever I can find, and get this thing off of the truck, down on the floor, let stuff soak for a little while. I got some work to do inside, and I'll come back to this. All right, got the new motor out of my truck and on the ground. I've kind of been taking a little bit of a look at it. Got a little bit of scale up in here. Should be able to clean that out pretty easy. Let's see. I pulled this off. Pulled this valve cover off. The cams look, you know, like 200,000 mile cams. Not too bad, not too bad. They went ahead and broke off one of the bolts for the valve cover for me. Pretty nice of them. Kind of contemplating doing the timing chains and phasers and all that. I don't know, it'd be the time to do it. It's not in the vehicle. But yeah, I'm pretty sure these valve covers are off with the junkyard engine, and they just swapped them over because it's, you know, fairly clean for the age and for a 543 valve. But this one is just disgusting. So I don't believe those came off of here. The other side looks just the same, maybe slightly better. This one here, I can't feel any ridge. You can kind of see a little score there. I don't know. The only numbers I'm able to find are back here. Looks like it's backwards or something. ASI 7CU3, whatever that means. I'll have to Google it. Probably nothing. I don't see any. I see one more. The bolt here, an intake bolt broke off, and one over in the back here. So those will have to get dealt with. That's aluminum head, steel bolts. That's kind of what happens. Let's see what else we got. Both of these look really bad. This is the one that's got the really obvious crack in it. All these studs look just terrible. I think that's pretty common. This side looks, like I said, basically the same. Maybe slightly better. I mean, it's dark. There's some gunk in here. I'm gonna have to clean this out really good. They knock some crap in here when they're messing around with it. That does not look like it came from inside the motor. Dirt. Well, I got a breaker bar here. Threw an 18mm socket on it. Probably hear the it's free. So that's a good sign. I didn't get totally screwed on it. That's probably about it that I can really do for the time being. I'm just gonna do some cleaning up on it. I threw a bunch of hardware up in this area. Don't know what that's out of. Hopefully nothing important. So yeah, just tons of rust. But I know rust very well from the pickup. That thing is got its fair share. So I'll have to grab the vacuum and vacuum all that out. So I think these two are knock sensors from what I was reading. I don't know about this one or what it's for. It might be water temperature. Because the oil pressure on these is right here behind the filter. You can get it in the vehicle. It's very difficult. I changed out the oil pressure sending unit on the pickup just to kind of a Hail Mary to see if maybe that was bad and that was why the oil pressure was dropping, but it was not. So these are cam sensors. There's two of those. What else we got? Should be a crank sensor somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Totally not familiar with these engines. But all right, I'm gonna get some cleaning done and looking at some other stuff. Oh, these pulleys. That's very crunchy. Looks like it broke at one point. This one is crazy. That is no bueno. This one spins, sounds a little crunchy. So I'll have to look at the ones on the pickup, see how they are. And maybe I'll just put new ones on, maybe not. If those look good, I'll use those. I think that's going to wrap it up for this episode. If you could go ahead and throw a like on here or even subscribe, it doesn't cost you anything, helps me out quite a bit. That way you can get notified whenever I do stupid projects like this that really shouldn't be done. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.